The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. Good morning. It's Friday. Thank you for tuning in to Next Level Convo with Brenda and Khadija. And unfortunately, Brenda's not with us today, but it's okay. We're going to keep the show rolling. She'll be giving us a call in a little later to tap in. But good morning, guys. It's Friday. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it and start off with Nipsey's Corner. You know, we always have to say something positive about Nipsey or something that he said to continue to spread his purpose and his mission. And, you know, we love Nipsey and we want to keep him alive. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a quote by Nipsey. And his quote is, "Trust your gut. When you get a good idea, believe in it, and believe in yourself." And I think this quote could be interpreted in so many different ways, but it's so important, it's so simple, and it's basically straight to the point. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust what you believe in. And if you have a good idea, if you could think of something, that means someone else could think of it. So if you could think of it first and actually go for it and work on it and make it happen, the opportunities that could come from that are endless. So again, trust your gut. You've got a good idea, believe in it, and bet on yourself, which means basically just believe in yourself. If you could think of it, you can do it, you can make it happen. And that's basically it. And we just want to continue to just keep Nipsey, you know, in our hearts and his mission and everything that he's accomplished, and try to be inspired by that. Even though he's gone, he can still continue to push us to do better and be better. So we just want to keep Nipsey alive, 10 toes down, never fold, you know, and I just learned so much from his progress and everything that he's done is that all we have is two things. We have time and we have choices. And what you do with your time is very important because you never get that back. What you make out of your time as far as your choices is very important. Like I stated before, and like I always state, is that those choices you make might not affect you immediately, but some point in your life that it will affect you in a good way or in a bad way. And you want to just learn from the choices that you make to continue to progress in life. You're always going to be faced with challenges. You know, things are never going to go your way, but it's all about perspective and how you deal with those things and keep moving. You know, things aren't going to go your way, so you can't let that stop you or put you down or knock you off course. So again, you got to believe in yourself. You got to stay focused and, you know, be wise with both of those, your choices and your time. And, you know, just basically, you know, I'm just going to elaborate a little more on these things just because I feel like it's so important as we move through life to learn how to navigate in a positive, productive way, because it's very, very easy to be negative, you know, but it takes a lot more and it's harder to be positive. But once you can incorporate that positivity in your life, you know, the universe rewards you. The energy you get and the outcome you get in just life experiences or something that's happening, just the energy that you're going to put out is what you're going to get back. So if you're constantly putting out negative energy, majority of the time, things might not just go your way, you know? That finesse is going to just be a lot harder when you're negative. So if you could continue to stay grounded, stay positive, believe in yourself, push for things, use your time, your choices, use it wisely, you will have a better outcome in anything that you're doing, regardless of what it is. So I just want to push you guys to stay positive, get that positive mind, that perspective, and be the best you can be. You can't go wrong with being the best you can be, whether it's just being nice to someone, staying consistent, working hard, little things that could get you to the next step and in your life. So, we're going to just keep our prayers, for Nipsey, his family. We love you. We definitely miss him. We're going to keep his marathon going. The marathon does continue. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a few stories that I want to talk about today. It's always a lot of things going on the internet. You can just find so much. But I did want to talk about Keisha Knight. Now, this is Keisha Knight. She's from, you may remember her from the Bill Cosby Show. She is investing $15 million into entrepreneurship with Ariana Simone to launch a venture capital fund specialty for Black women to support startup businesses. I think this is so important because, sometimes you just need that backup to help you push for your goals. And they're giving women, especially Black women, an opportunity to have that support, that economic backup to help push their startup businesses. And I think this is just a great thing to do. Sometimes we need that extra help as Black women. Sometimes we go through so much and we have the least amount of support. And to see that she's doing something so great with Ariana, I applaud her for this. I applaud her to give opportunities to these Black women, especially since she's in a position to do so. So I just want to say thank you for doing this, giving these women an opportunity, a helping hand, as we should always do for each other. If you can help someone out or do something nice or kind for them, it won't hurt you or it won't stop your day to do something nice for someone else. So for her to take on this venture, it's a big responsibility. It's a big opportunity for Black women. And, I'm happy she's doing this. So, congratulations to her. I hope it succeed. I hope she, gain a lot of success from this. And I hope a lot of women, gain a lot of success from this as well. Having that backup and that opportunity to start up that business. So, never give up on yourself. Keep pushing, keep fighting. And you never know when someone will come along and bless you with the opportunity. So thank you, Keisha Knight, for doing that. And, this past weekend, oh, I didn't even talk about my weekend. Usually I have someone here asking me about my week and my weekend and everything. So let me go ahead and touch base on that. I had a really good week this week. Very productive, working. I had a great weekend. Went out to Hollywood on Saturday. Had some fun there. And my week was pretty good. Just trying to stay focused. It's always a challenge. Every day is going to be a challenge to get up, do something great, work, stay consistent. And, I'm just pushing through that fight to stay productive and stay on top of things. Sometimes we get lazy or we may fall off or whatever the case is. And it's okay if you have that lazy day or two. But, you have to stay consistent. You have to stay on top of things. Keep pushing and keep fighting. So that was a week for me. That's what I was doing, staying positive, pushing through, fighting, even if I'm going to sleep late, still trying to get up early, handle business. And yeah, so I had a productive week. And also this past weekend, Rihanna had her 5th annual Diamond Ball. And her Diamond Ball is basically just to support her foundation, which is, I believe, Clara and Lionel, which are her grandparents' name, is Clara and Lionel Foundation. And the foundation the purpose of it is to support the efforts for global education. Rihanna's really big on trying to get everyone educated, giving them certain resources to have more opportunities. And basically that's what her foundation does. Her foundation provides global education, health, and emergency response programs. Last year, her Diamond Ball generated, I believe, $5.5 million, which is definitely a huge sum that could go a long way as far as education, resources, health. These are all things that are going to be beneficial to her program and giving out those opportunities. So it's just really great to see that she's doing something, not only benefiting herself, but benefiting so many other people. And it's great to see the success now that it's on its 5th annual ball that was on September 14th, I believe. Or no, that was just this past last night, I think it actually was. I'm sorry. Yesterday, the 11th, I believe. So she had a star-studded event, of course. A lot of celebrities came. Pharrell came. He performed. She actually jumped on the stage with him. And a lot of speculations that, she might be pregnant or it's a baby bump or this or that. Who knows? We'll have to just play it out and see. But she looks absolutely stunning. She had a black velvet dress on, and it was just beautiful. You can't go wrong with Rihanna. She's very stylish and very fashionista, but she was very dressed very well. Cardi B was in attendance. She looked very stunning. Just a whole star-studded event. Everyone was there. And also, speaking of Rihanna, she also in February accepted the humanitarian award from Harvard. So all this is paying off, and we are very proud of her and to see that her foundation continues to grow. So we're very proud of Rihanna. And she actually made 3rd on the Forbes list for highest woman musician, I think ranking in about 65 to 70 million. So toots to Rihanna and been on that list and all the great things that she's doing. And we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back. We have a very special guest. So we're going to go ahead and have her come on and get in touch into all the things that she has going on. So you guys stay tuned. guys, welcome back. Next Level Convo with Khadija, and we have a special guest, Deanna Store.
Hey,
Yes. Welcome, Deanna. We're going to go ahead and talk about a lot of different things that she has going on. She just dropped the EP and a lot of different things. So welcome, Deanna. Thank you
so
for
much.
joining us.
Thank you
Very
for having
excited
me.
to have you here, of course.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So we're going to just jump right into it. I know you dropped your EP.
Yes.
The long-awaited anticipation.
Out.
Your EP, Blue.
Right, Blue.
Yes. Okay, so what made you want to name it Blue? Like, where'd you get that inspiration from?
Blue. Blue has always been my number.
Okay.
My color for a long time. Blue has been like my favorite color since I was a child. But when it came to music and I started to put something together, like put a body of work together, and I was going back and forth with like, what should I name it? Like, what should the title be? But more so than anything, it was an emotion for me. Yeah. I'm like, the music and the vibe, it just makes you feel some type of way. So blue to me is not only like my favorite color, but it brings an emotion. Like you can feel blue, you know what I mean? It's almost a genre of music. It is like, the blues,
you could No, you could definitely feel it through the songs. And I was going to say, the vibe that I got from that your EP was, love, strength, encouraging, building you up, letting you know your worth, mistakes, different things that happen. So what was your motivation as far as what did you want your audience to get from listening to your music?
So more than anything, I want people to like feel something.
Yeah.
Like I know nowadays we have music and you can listen and you can hear it, but I want people to be able to feel something when they hear the music. So I said like, let me put everything, all of my emotions, everything that I'm going through for real into my music. And that's what I did. So with Blue, I took every single emotion that I've dealt with within my relationship and put it into this body of work. And I just hope that everybody listening can experience that same thing. Like you go through literally every emotion. It starts off being super vulnerable, and then you get sad a bit, then you get confident, like, I'm good, I don't need you, I'm straight. Then it comes back around again to where you start feeling like, you know what, like, if you can just understand where I'm coming from, like, fill me out, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, let's work through this together, and then it ends on, like, a sweet note.
Okay, hold that. We're going to get back into, because I definitely want to tap into that vulnerable side, and how did you transition into that, but we do have a call, so you can go ahead and put these headphones in, and we're going to see happening with this call. Hello? Hi, caller.
Good morning, hi, good morning. How are you?
Hello.
Good morning. I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome.
Well, go ahead and let them know what's their name and where they're calling from.
We're doing great. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oh, my name is Joyce, and I'm calling from Moreno Valley.
Hi, Joyce. How are you? What's popping in Moreno Valley?
Hey, it's a little warm out. I'm about to take a dip. But I just wanted to say that I'm just so proud to be a resident of the United States with, with all this productivity going on. And for the young ladies, again, I wanted to know, how does she keep her momentum to keep going on and just keep doing what she's doing?
Well, as far as momentum and just, being inspired, I take inspiration just from everyday life, like everything I experience, everything that I go through, and also just having the passion and the love for music, because I've been doing it for some time now, but just to be able to continue to move forward and keep that drive, it does come from everything I experience every day, whether it's good or bad. Also, just my passion and love for doing music.
For what you're doing. Oh, that's so awesome. And what advice would you give to any of the other young ladies that are looking, or just young people in general, because it's not an easy task to continue on when things are not going exactly as you plan them to go, but what advice would you give for them?
You know what I've learned as far as advice goes, and I'd just like to share this. There was a time where I felt really comfortable and complacent with where I was in life and what was going on. And I remember saying, you know what, like in order to grow and in order to experience new things and new heights, sometimes you have to get a little uncomfortable. And I remember just saying that out loud, like I think I'm too comfortable. And I got to a place where I was completely uncomfortable. Like I was going through everything I couldn't imagine as far as living situation, relationships, just life in general, maintaining. And I feel like in order to grow, like, don't be afraid to get uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to sacrifice and go through things, because I feel like that's when the best growth can happen. And don't take it as, you know, a negative thing, but just use that in the most positive way you can, apply it to your life, and allow that to help you be stronger. So whatever life throws at you, literally take it and use it as strength and build.
So what you're actually saying is face your fears.
Face your fears.
Yourself, and just make sure that you're moving in a positive direction.
Absolutely. And whatever that direction is, make sure you're passionate about it, because you won't have any doubt in your mind as far as giving up or stopping ever, especially if you're passionate about it.
Oh, that is so awesome. I just want to say thank you, and I want you guys to enjoy the rest of the show and enjoy. I'm looking forward to hearing your new music.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to purchasing it, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for calling in. You have a lovely day and enjoy your weekend.
Okay, you too. Thank you. And you're
Bye.
doing a great job as a host.
Oh, thank you.
Killing it.
Okay, enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. All right.
So I missed the first part of that, but I seen that you kind of did touch as before the call came in. We're talking about getting into that vulnerable side and
Right.
how was that transforming? Because, you know, sometimes it's easy to get in there and make certain songs but to really be able to tap into how you feel your emotion and put that into a track, like how was that like journey or experience for you?
I'm just so grateful because the studio to me is an outlet. So when I'm going through things and I'm experiencing these emotions, sometimes, you know, I might not be able to pick up the phone and call, you know, somebody or talk to my partner, the person that I'm actually going through this with. So I'm able to go into the studio and just like let every emotion come out. And that's the beauty of it. I just want to give a shout out to my producer, Concept, the producer. He and I click so well, and we just like, I mean, we make music in our sleep together. Like,
Did he produce the whole album?
He produced everything except 2 songs. So literally like 90% of the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you wrote all your songs,
Every
right?
song, yeah.
100%.
Every
All
single
you
song, yes.
got those rights. No.
Yes.
No, but so what actually got you into singing, or did you always know like this was a passion, or did you always know you had a voice?
Kind of. So I grew up in church, and we had like no choice in church. You know, you got choir, you singing, you know, solos and doing this. Like that was just what we had to do. I also went to a private school where we had chapel and programs, and we did all these things. So all the kids were singing, all the kids were putting on plays and things like that.
It's normal.
I was, for whatever reason, it just stood out to me a little more. Like it was something not only that I had to do, but it became something I loved to do and enjoyed to do. And I just noticed myself, you know, more so having leads in the songs, like taking solos and having lead parts in the plays that we would put on, and I would just like shine. And my mom, I remember her, I used to always tell her, because one of my best friends and her cousin, they were singers since they were children, and I used to always tell my mom, like, I want to sing like them, I want to sing like that. She always just say, oh, pray about it, you know, or, you know, whatever the case. And I remember that, and my mom just says, she'll tell you to this day, like, one day you were just sounding better and better, and you just really started to sound good. You weren't just
praying on it, you were working on it, you were, you know, putting that, manifesting that.
It happened, and I do believe that. I love it to say it that way.
At what point do you think you really start to take it serious, like, or take it like this is going to be like my go-to, my career?
I remember being in the 3rd grade writing songs, like at recess when everybody was playing handball and things like that. I would get into it, but my best friend and I, we'd be off to the side writing songs and like beating on desks, making beats to it, creating dance steps. So that my earliest memories, I know I was 8 years old, I started to sound good, and then around in like the 3rd grade, I was actually writing music already, for sure.
Early on, and now all that's paying off with this new EP, Blue, which you have 11 songs on.
11 songs.
Yes, and I mean, each song is great. Each song touch in a different way. You get a different perspective. Did you have any favorites, or one that might have like was a little more personal, or that you just vibe to a little more?
Sort of, yeah. And I can't say I have like one all-time favorite, because I love so many of them, but Special Connections, I'd have to say, no particular order, but I'll give you 2. Love Story, which is the first song, and then it's a song called Ride. I believe that's like number 8 or so. Those 2 are just, I don't know what it is about it, but they're special to me. Every song is special, but something about those records just make me feel like, you know, I didn't write the song,
Yeah.
or like it is in my record. When I listen to it, I feel like
Yeah.
almost just like a listener to it, and I experience it all over again. So I would say those two are definitely probably.
And
the
I'm gonna
top.
say I like those picks. Like, it was really hard to pick, especially with it just dropping. And, you know, it might change over time as you listen to them more, you vibe to them a little more. But I had a good, at least a top 4, and Ryder was definitely in one of them. I really liked '09.
Yeah.
I liked OVO Anna.
Yes.
And
you hear
Done.
that, Drake?
Yeah. OVO Anna. Yeah, I was feeling that. I think Done and Ryder might be my favorite.
Okay.
You know, with Done, I feel like it was just a vibe. The beat was really good. It just had a really good sound to it.
Yeah.
It was kind of, to me, I got like break up, move on kind of vibe. Like, hey, listen.
That's when I was like, I found myself. I'm good.
You know,
what I mean?
knowing your worth, and you're like, you know, hey, at this point, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm moving on. I'm leveling up. And then with the Ride, I got, you know, that like love story kind of. Like you said, I think a couple of the words is like, love shouldn't be this hard.
It
like,
should
you know,
never be this hard.
Shouldn't be this difficult.
We all feel that.
Yeah, it should become
simple. And it makes
simple.
you so vulnerable because you like, I really wanted you to ride for me. I thought you was gonna ride for me.
You wanted it to work.
Sad,
You wanted it to work. You wanted it to work, but it just
worked so bad.
Sometimes, you know, what you want is not what's best.
And
you
then
know,
when you get to the realization of, wow, like this isn't gonna work, or we're not compatible.
I felt like that song Ride, once you got to the end of that ride, you realized, like you said, this isn't going to work. We're not compatible. I wanted it to, but it just didn't. And I really liked it. And it said every girl has a limit, you know? And that's in life for anything.
Yes.
Not even just love. You know, everything you do, it should be a point where if this happens, okay, you know, I'm not going to tolerate that. Whether, you know, it's a friend or any circumstances that you're in, you should have that limit to protect yourself and your space. And I think sometimes as women, we kind of tend to lose that and settle and just accept a lot. When,
a lot of times,
you know, we worth so much,
right?
That, you know, if someone's not bringing that to the table, it should be like you said, it's a limit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Push hard enough, you'll
but,
get it.
but it was hard listening to every song. I'm like, oh my God, all these are so good. You know, I'm feeling this, I'm vibing with this. But how did you get it down to 11? Like, was that already set?
Down to? How did I get it up to? Because okay, EPs, people are normally like 11 songs. That's an album.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, but I'm not in album mode. Album mode is gonna be crazy. I'm like, this is an EP, but it was so hard to decide. But when it, like I said, when it came down to the body of work and even the title of it being Blue, like I said, experiencing those emotions, I just felt like this was what I went through, like as a whole, a full circle of like experiencing that in that relationship at that time. So I had to make it 11. I wanted it to be like 6, 5. But 6 was like cap. Next thing you know, I was like 9. Then I'm like, wow, how did I get to 11?
So you're just vibing out, and as you're going, it's just like, hey, it's the journey is still just going, and you felt
it was happening while I was recording. Like I had a few songs that were already done that I knew I wanted to put on the project, but as I was literally in the process of working on it, I was going through a lot in my relationship at the time, and a lot of those songs like Ride, Understanding, Love Story, those all it was happening in real life. So I was like, it's no way I can not add this to this body of work, because this is what's gonna give it the complete.
It's your journey, and these are things that are happening. And again, you're touching into that vulnerable side to be able to open up and let people in and say, hey, you know, I'm human. These are things that have happened, that are happening, you know, that I've dealt with, didn't want to deal with, you know, and I think it's okay to let your fans be able to tap into that with you and feel how you feel and hear them especially through the music. Like, you know, that's really art, to be able to transform that and make someone feel how you feel. I could feel your emotion. You know, some of them songs, I'm getting chills. Like, you know, I feel like I'm there with you going through these things and hearing these things. And I'm just like, you know, we all could relate in some form of way, you know, throughout any of the songs. At some point you could relate to, I've been through this, or, you know, this happened to me, or it's happening to me. And to know that it's okay. Like, you can get through it. You can still succeed. You can still gain your strength and power and encourage other people as you go. So I just want to say, like, the EP is killing it. You know, I'm definitely going to tap back in, listening to some more, because it just came out, you know. So it
ain't even been out 24 hours.
Yes, you still got to vibe. You still got to get in tune with that. But with that, and how you're saying that is what was happening in your situation at the time? Like, how do you juggle the relationship, trying to be an artist, other things that you have going on in your life? And how do you be able to balance all that?
I will say it isn't the easiest thing I've ever tried to do. But I feel like anything worth something to you is also worth fighting for. And my career, obviously, my relationship is also one of those things. Real life, having to maintain, having to go to work to be able to, put my money back into music, all these things. So these are all important things in my life, and I feel like it's worth, going through whatever it is I have to go through and making it out. I feel like you got to go through it to get through it sometimes, and if you're in the thick of it, let's make it through so we can get through it, So it isn't the easiest thing, but like I said, I'm so happy because I feel like we all go through things, whether it's like in a relationship, whether if it's with your mom, your sister, your cousin, whoever the case, like, you go through things. And I'm just so grateful that I've been able to experience things and go through things that has helped me grow as a woman, a girlfriend, a musician, all these things. So everything I've been through has led, to this point right here. So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for those experiences. And if nothing else, I'm glad that I was able to go through it to give someone else an ear to be like, hey, I can get through it too. Or, I've had a few people tell me, it hasn't been out too long, but the response I've been getting is so dope. And
it's going to keep coming.
Saying like, you put into words how I feel. And I'm so happy about that. Like, oh my God, I feel that way. You said
this happened
to
me.
So I'm glad that
to be able to have someone relate again. Like, you are turning your emotion into art. So that other people could vibe, feel it, and see that, hey, like, you're not the only person that might have went through this, that's going through this, that could overcome this. We're always faced with challenges and obstacles, and sometimes it's good to have someone that also went through those same things to help you get through it, you know. And again, I think it's kind of like a therapeutic
it's
type
a diary,
of,
like for me, and then I'm just letting everybody read it.
Exactly. But in another thing, that's very hard to do. You have to be very mature to get vulnerable and then show that to other people.
Yeah, that's important for me. Like, when people ask me, like, what is it that, you want to do with your music, or what type of artist are you? And I'm like, I'm going to be completely honest in everything that I, produce and put out. Because a lot of times, as women or men, we like, I don't need you, you woo, but it's like, where are the sides of you that when you couldn't go to sleep last night, or, when you cried on your way to work, or, all those things. And I feel like that's so important. And I always want to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I always want to be honest and be vulnerable in my music.
You could be strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still cry or be hurt by something,
and be
or
cool.
feel some type of way. It's not taken away from you being strong or independent or needing someone.
Honestly, we all go through it, whether you want to admit it or not. Like, we all have our moments where we feel a little weak, or we might feel a little sad, or go through things. So,
and it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's what your music let us know, that it is okay. You can encourage someone. You could go through things. Things could happen. But it is okay. It is not the end of the world. And you don't have to be a prisoner to your past. If something has happened or things didn't go your way, that was just for a time period. That doesn't mean that you have to be subject to life sentence on what happened to you, at one point in time. And I think your music lets you know, if you are in love, or you did have a breakup, or you have to move on, life goes on. And it's okay to keep moving and keep pushing. So as far as your EP, did you do any other thing on the back end as far as producing any other songs, or were you strictly just writing and singing?
Not really producing, but it was definitely like a 50-50 partnership with, like I said, my producer. I have two other amazing producers. One, Siege Monstrosity. He's amazing. And
shout out to them. Shout out to them
to
putting in that work.
And my homie Desi G also.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Desi.
It was 50-50 as far as the production goes. Like, they came. I always like to start off with a track. Sometimes I'll just write down ideas, or just to remember like what place I was in as far as emotion goes. But I love to just get that other half from the producer and just allow it to take me there, wherever it's going to take me.
Let everybody get that input, that inspiration. Hey, you're really putting in that work, and we want to continue to, push that EP, push for your music, and hear those things. As far as outside of music, did you have any other goals or any things that you might want to get into, or later down the line that, you see yourself being involved in?
Absolutely. I am from Compton. I'm from the city of Compton.
We have a Compton native in here, yes.
310. So I absolutely see myself when I'm able to and get in the position to. I see so many things for the city, being that it's where I'm from, and also that's what, like, it makes up a lot of who I am. Yeah. I want to be able to go back and create things, I really see myself starting like a nonprofit organization where I can build like a huge facility somewhere for kids, teenagers, even, you know, adults to come. They don't have to pay anything. I can have people from the community, within the community, working there as far as if they want to, you know, they're teachers or they're good at certain things.
Providing
or
jobs,
they just want to,
opportunity.
Exactly. They enjoy kids, but you can come not only train in arts, performing arts, singing, dancing, acting, things like that, but we can learn trades. We can have people there teaching people how to be carpenters or whatever the case. I just want to create something within my community where I'm from where people can feel safe and also at home, because sometimes you can't make it to across town or to do certain things, but if you can just, you know, maybe walk around the corner, or we might have some buses picking people up from different sides of the town, and you can come here and you can just build, because that's what it was for me growing up. I was able to be at a nonprofit where every day after school and every day in the summer, my mom knew I enjoyed doing music. She would take me. She sacrificed, and she got me there every day. And I just would love to create something like that for young adults, young kids.
Opportunity for them.
Yeah, feel safe and find something that, you know, you love. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to say, hey, do I like this or do I like that? Do I want to get into coding or programming or computers or anything, you know?
Basically just giving opportunity to your people in your community to uplift the community, bring the community together, and make it a better and safer place for young children, the youth, and adults.
Right at home.
And, you know, you can do nothing but respect that.
Right at home.
Because I'm all for that unity, education, pushing each other, you know. And it's really, really hard, and it's sad that it's hard to get people on board and to do these things, but it's really what's needed for, you know, our people. That opportunity, like you said, you might not have that same opportunity you have in Compton that you might have in Calabasas or Whittier, you know? Exactly. And so to create that
absolutely.
You know, is really awesome, you know? And we're in, you know, I see a lot of things on the news, and we're going to tap into a lot of different things too. But, you know, before we get off on your songs, is there anything else that you would want someone to take from it? Aside from that they could, you know, you went through these things, they going through them, you know, listening to your music to get them through, to push, you know, that therapeutic, to help them. Is there anything else that you want them to take from you or your situation, or, you know, anything that you went through?
If nothing else, but that's definitely one of the main things. I just want to be able to allow people to feel something. But aside from that, if I can just inspire people, then that would be great. If they can just see, like, hey, I look like her, we come from the same place, we're built the same, our hair might look the same, and just be inspired by another young black woman trying to make it in the industry, then I will be happy with that too.
Because they see you do it.
Yeah, like we have other, you know, influencers, as we call it, on social media and things like that, but we don't really come from the same place. We don't look the same. We ain't got the same coins, you know, so if I can inspire anybody to be confident, to be strong, and walk around with that, then I'll be happy too.
That is beautiful. And with all this going on, balancing relationship, work, your music, how do you stay in shape? How do you stay healthy?
Oh, gosh.
Because, you know, I'm looking at the pictures, I'm looking at your Instagram, and you're looking good.
Thank you.
So how do you sustain that?
So I'm working on it every day also. Like, I've just, not so much working out, but I have grown to pick up some better eating habits, cutting back, not eating meats. I do still eat carbs, but just as far as like a lot of the processed foods and things like that, I try to watch out for that. So I've picked up better eating habits, which is also something I want to do within my community when I get the opportunity. Create better for food. But other than that, just better choices as far as food goes.
On that tip, because I know that, you know, for me, it was just, it didn't come that easy. You know, I grew up eating meat, you know, pancakes, you know, all these great things that you're thinking like, oh, we're eating good, we're living good. And then when you realize once you get older and you do research, it's like, well, one, meat's not good for you. Those aren't the best options, but those were the options that were provided to you. So how did you? Yeah, you're right. But when you learn and you know better, you have to do better. So how did you come to that, to realized like
I
have
gotta
to
give
do
all the
better.
credit to my boyfriend. The same person that I'm making all these songs about. I have to give the credit to him.
Oh, she didn't put that in that song, though.
I will say this. Look, there's a lot of good things in there about him, too. But I will say this. As far as, say, for instance, like if you want to start working out, it's always easier when you got like a gym partner. Like, hey, girl, let's go to the gym.
Some support.
So he actually was the one that was leading this, and I was able to say, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Oh, wow, I learned that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I've just been able to kind of like follow in his footsteps as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And then since we are together, live together, it's easier when I don't see it, I don't have to eat it. It was harder in the beginning,
temptation,
but
yeah.
you know, it was definitely a lot better going through that with somebody,
Yeah.
like especially being in the same house. Like, okay, we own this together.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
so how long has it been since you haven't been eating meat?
So I'd say like beef and pork, it's been probably like 3 years maybe.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Good
Chicken
job.
and like turkey has just been about a year.
Okay.
I'm still working on like seafood. I have seafood every once in a while. Yeah. So it's
It's
slow
just
process.
it's just literally
But, you know,
a process.
Absolutely. I'm working on
And
it.
even for me, when I first started, which I haven't ate meat in 2 years.
Oh, that's dope.
I haven't ate chicken in 2 years. I never ate pork. And like I said, when I first started, it was very, very hard, like, because I really didn't know much, you know,
Yeah.
and I just knew that I wanted to make a change in my health and my habits and what I was eating. So I just knew, like, okay, you know, I have to do some research. I have to figure out what I can eat. So at first I just went cold turkey, literally stop eating turkey, stop eating meat.
Yeah.
And then for 6 months, I was just eating salads. And then I realized, like, okay, you can't just eat salads
Yeah.
every day. I have to
You
think.
can still eat good,
Yeah, I have
though.
to
That's-
think
I think people
realistic.
don't realize that, though.
And that's the
There
thing.
are
If
a
you
lot of
don't
great-
know how, you know, you don't know what you're supposed to do. So I went 6 months just not eating no meat, just salads. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
you know what? I can't live my life like this. Like,
Right.
so I was like, how can I change this? How can I substitute? Then I've had to learn how to cook certain things. I had to learn, start
Same.
doing more research on ingredients and what things do. And then I started making, you know, veggie enchiladas or,
Right.
you
I've
know.
had some. They're bomb.
Yeah, veggie patty, you know, different things. So you have to try to
Absolutely.
incorporate other things, but you really have to do your research and you
Yeah.
really have to learn and you have to know what you don't want to eat, which one to do. So it was a process for me.
Same.
And even now with seafood, like you said, I still eat seafood. I've been, at first, I was eating seafood a lot.
Yeah.
And then now I'm weaning off once a
Same.
week here and
Yeah.
there, you know, because eventually I don't want to eat any of it because
Exactly.
when you just see how the environment is
Right.
going and
Plant-based.
yeah,
That's the
it's
goal.
literally the best way, literally to go because
is the
you're
goal.
you know you're not harming animals
Right.
and it's just so much
And
cruelty
our bodies also.
are getting healthier.
Yes.
You know, we're eating less processed food, less meat, which deteriorates the body, cause cancer,
Absolutely.
cause cardiovascular disease, cause high blood pressure, heartburn, a lot of different
Diabetes.
things. And I like that you said change habits because a lot of people don't realize that the things that they're eating are what is causing the diseases. And
Yeah.
all you have to do is make a change in what you're eating. Like
Yeah.
even if you're instead of eating a bag of chips, grab an apple, you
Right.
know, grab a mango, you know, small steps. You know, it's hard to just transfer over, but if you could just take,
Yeah, cold turkey's tough, but it's a process. Like
you have to
we're
be mentally
explaining-
ready for that.
Yes,
Yeah, like
yes.
it was.
I tell people, like, if you're thinking about it, give up one thing. Like, give up the beef first, give up
Yeah.
pork, and then give yourself time, and then just, you know, pick something else, choose something
Gra-
else, and then eventually
gradually.
get there gradually. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
For
you
sure.
healthier. You know, you're more in shape.
Yeah.
You have more energy. You know, we'll see the results in 20 years.
Right.
we'll come back and
When
see.
we still looking 21.
Yeah, we'll come back and see what those results are. But I know
Yeah.
that it's a much healthier diet, or let's say live it, because you
For
want to
sure.
live eating these
Absolutely.
certain things, and it's just much healthier. So I do want to recommend things that people could do. You know, it takes 21 days to build a habit
Yes.
and 90 days to build a lifestyle, you know. So one day at a time, you know, replacing one thing at a time.
Yes.
You know, you can
That's
move.
great
You can move
advice.
forward. And you know, as we were talking about things that you want to do in your community opportunity, I did want to touch base and ask you some questions regarding the story that I read up on
Okay.
from a young lady. I think her name was Skylar Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
She was a 20-year-old white woman from Ohio who unfortunately buried her unborn baby in her backyard. And she was recently, went to court, had trial by a 12-trial jury, and she was charged on 4 counts. 1 count of adult abuse, or no, let me check. It was 4 counts of. Oh, it was Brooke Schuyler. And the prosecutor said she killed and buried her baby. And it was a count of aggravated assault, involuntary manslaughter, child endangerment, and abuse of a corpse. So she got charged with 4 counts. She was only found guilty on 1 count, which was abuse of a dead corpse. Wow. Or of a corpse, because the corpse is dead. That's how it's a corpse. But we were just talking about how, what's white privilege? Is it white privilege? And I feel like this was a perfect example of what white privilege could be. The fact that she was charged with 4 counts and only got
charged with 1.
1.
Wow. Absolutely.
Anybody else, that would have totally went different. That would have went.
The counts would have been ran up higher. You know what I mean?
Completely different. So just to see that someone could do something to a living being and get away with that, that only screamed white privilege. And I also was listening to Chelsea Handler interview on white privilege. He said, first off, it's he loves to have white skin. Knowing that you can go into a grocery store and not bad. Right. Knowing that you can go to a white cop and know that it's not a life-death situation. Right. And
you're not fearing for your life.
If you were a black person, it would be a whole different story. So do you think there's something called white privilege?
Absolutely. It's not anything that we can try and, come up with something to cover it up or anything else to say about it. Like, it's so, blatant that we can't hide it. We can't, I mean, not us, but, anyone can try to hide it or cover it up. And it honestly is sad and sad, but would be because I don't think there's anything we can do or say that'll change like how these things happen as far as white privilege goes, and it's unfortunate. But the only advice that I would give to us as a people, we have to educate ourselves. We have to know our actual rights and like what is and isn't allowed, and we can't allow them to do these certain things as far as say like traffic stops or how we're driving or certain things that they're doing that are illegal or that they're not supposed to do. We need to just really educate ourselves, and we got to be, our tools have to be so sharp. We have to be tip-top because we do experience so many casualties as black people, and it is unfortunate. But the only thing that we can do, to me, my best advice right now to fight back is we have to educate ourselves and we have to be ready for whatever.
That's the first step right there.
As far as even having children, like not only yourselves, but men, children, young people that's walking home from school or whatever the case, like we have to work harder. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but we have to do things and take steps further just to stay protected, to protect ourselves. And we got to start with our people too. Like we got to.
I completely agree with you because it starts at home and it starts with education, and it's hard to find a solution to something if you can't even identify the problem.
Right. What it is.
And then once you do identify the problem, how do you move forward?
How do you handle it?
And I think you hit it on the nail with it starts with education.
Yeah, we got to know these rights. We got to know these laws. We got to know what they can and can't say, or if they say this, well, how do we respond without not knowing, and then they can take advantage of us, and then we are out of the car in the back in handcuffs, and we weren't even supposed to be,
And the reason why you are is because you didn't even know that this wasn't even supposed to go down, and what they do say, and what I learned in reading the law and understanding is that if you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights, because how could you protect something that you don't know you have?
I have no idea.
So majority of the time, those are instances where things are happening that they don't even know their rights are being violated because they don't even know what their rights are. And I think this story with this young lady that's 20-year-old Skylar Richardson from Ohio is a prime example of white privilege. But at the end of the day, we've been know this was going on. We've been know this is happening. We've been know white privilege is happening. But what's next? What can we do about it as a people?
I'll say this. They are going to take care of theirs, And it's a really sad thing to say. But they're going to make sure they protect and take care of their people. So let's, us as a people, take care of each other. Let's each one teach one. Let's educate ourselves. Let's continue to create these spaces where we can come and learn, feel safe. Have opportunities. These things are important. So I feel like we got to start within and work our way out. And let's build our community. Let's build our minds. Let's build our bodies. As far as health goes.
Literally.
Everything.
And even as we touch bases on the education, that's feeding your brain. And just how you're feeding your brain, you have to feed your body. And these are all things that will fuel your body to move forward in a better and productive manner. And, that's what we have to do. And I think it does start with the young youth. Like you said, if you're having children, you have to teach them at a young age. So by the time they hit 15, 16, 18, 20, whatever the case is, they're already well prepared instead of coming in at 18 and not knowing what's happening or what's going on. So I agree with you 100%, you know, and, you know, I know we went straight from the EP to something deep, but, you know, it's great to just hear your opinion on it and see how you feel about it. And, you know, we have to wake up, guys. We got to educate ourselves. We have to teach each other. We
have to protect each other.
You know, and then I also had a question from the EP. If someone haven't listened, you know, I'm jumping from topic to topic, but if someone hasn't listened, what would be the one song or a few songs? You know, we know Love Story and Ride was your favorite, but what would you suggest for somebody like, hey, you want to jump in?
I'd say this. If you're, you know, you ain't got a lot of time or you just headed somewhere real quick and you want to, like, catch a bop, go ahead and throw on That's My Bad. Go ahead and throw on Done. If you got, you know, maybe went to work already, you're on your way home and you want to really, like, maybe just be in your feelings. It's something about when you're driving home on the freeway or whatever the case, you have a minute to really, you know, get in your feelings and think about some stuff.
And it's just you there majority of the time.
Just start at track 1.
Love Story. Go ahead and play that.
Start at number 1 and let it ride because you're going to catch the vibe. But if you just got a minute and you want to catch a quick, you know, little turn up or a little bop, definitely That's My Bad or Done.
Well, and now that the EP has finally dropped, I'm sure you're going to be having some projects coming, some things happening.
Yes.
What's next? Because it's always going to be what's next. Once you complete something.
I thought I was going to have a break.
No.
It's just getting started.
It's just getting started. You know, life continues to go on. Things move on. Opportunities happen. Now that the EP is dropped, what are you working on next? What are your plans moving forward?
So the very next thing that we're working on right now is a show for the 19th. So this is my first time speaking about this. I haven't said anything yet to anybody, but this is the perfect time.
Yes, go ahead and drop that on us.
Yes, so September 19th, which is a Thursday night, at the Federal Bar in Long Beach from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yes.
We'll be having a big show. It's going to be my official birthday party / EP release party.
Yes.
I'm going to perform the whole thing with my band. I'm going to have a few other performers. I've got Garen coming. I've got Decimo the Dog. I've got KB Devon, Agape, and my homie DJ Danny, he's DJing. So far I'm still working on the lineup. It's going to be super lit. But yeah, I just want everybody to come out, catch a vibe, celebrate with me, and you can actually hear the whole thing live.
Yes, so that's September 19th. She'll drop that birthday bash in the EP, have a lineup, and you will be singing the whole album.
The whole EP.
The whole EP.
The whole EP.
So I'm excited to hear that. You guys could definitely tap in, and then go ahead and drop your Instagram, some information.
Oh, yes. So again, thank you guys so much for having me. I am Deanna Stewart. You can find me on every social media platform at DANNA STEWART.
Yes, and that's the EP Blue. I'm excited to see you perform that. That's going to be very fun. Yes. Did you plan on doing any videos or any visuals?
Done.
Oh, okay.
I'm just ready to drop. They're lined up. The first single that I think I'm going to drop is to That's My Bad.
Okay. So we'll be definitely excited to see that. Yes. And hopefully we can get that aired here. Of course. But again, that was exclusive September 19th, Thursday at the Federal Bar. Yep. She will be doing a live performance. Everyone's welcome to come check her out and listen to the music. And again, Deanna, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming, showing love, giving us that EP. And, you know, we appreciate it. We want to continue to spread love and unity.
That's right.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.